Yo, what is up guys, it's Icross, and before this video starts, I am actually very excited to announce that I have officially partnered with Kraken Keyboards. Kraken Keyboards is an online company that specializes in high quality keyboards, keycaps, and mouse pads. If you guys do decide to purchase some of their products, make sure to use code HYCROSS for 10% off your purchase. That is HYECROSS as your coupon code. If you guys do decide to purchase any of their products using my coupon code, make sure to screenshot proof, and I'll make sure to follow you guys back on any social of your choice. With that said, let's get right into the video. Alright boys, so in this video, I'll be going over the best competitive settings for Chapter 4 Season 2. And obviously with the start of a new season, there's always going to be some extra lag and frame drops. So in this video, I will showcase the very best settings to get you guys the best competitive advantage. So yeah, let's get right into the video by heading into our Fortnite settings. Alright boys, now that we are in our settings, we're going to check out our windowed mode. So we have windowed mode, I have it set to full screen. There's no need to go windowed, full screen, or windowed. For our monitor resolution, I have it set to 1920 by 1080. That is just because I make content. But for competitive, honestly, you can go both ways. You can go native or you can go stretch res. If you're going native, obviously, there's a lot of perks to that. The game is meant to be played on native, so there's no problem with doing that. But if you want a little boost in performance, I would definitely recommend reses such as 1550 by 1080, 1720 by 1080, or 1750 by 1080. I did make a top 5 stretched resolutions video right before this one, so make sure you go check that out. You guys can play around with the reses and see which one is best for you. VSync we have off. Frame rate limit, you're just going to cap this to whatever your monitor resolution is. So I have a 240 hertz monitor, and I'm going to use 240 frames to match the hertz. So whatever hertz monitor you have, you want to just match the frames to the hertz. Your rendering mode, if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, make sure you use performance mode. If you have an AMD graphics card, make sure you use DX12 on low meshes. So make sure all your graphics qualities are set to low. That'll give you low meshes in DX12. Brightness, I have it at 100%. I think this season there's no need to go any brighter. That is just too much, so I'd like to keep it at 100. User interface contrast, just keep that at 1x. For your colorblind mode, I like to keep it at T7. That is because I like the pop of color. I feel like it kind of pops, and it's very easy to see players when you have it on something like T7. A lot of pros actually don't use any colorblind mode, but I actually prefer to use it. I think T7 is a great balance between the colors in game. 3D resolution, I would not go below 90 if you want to like play around with this to give you an extra boost. But in game, honestly, I would just keep this at 100%. There's no need to go below 100%. View distance, make sure this is on medium. You want this set to medium so you can see players far away, get those surge tags. Textures have on low. Auto download, have this off. Have high res off, and meshes, make sure this is on low. You guys can play around with possibly going to high meshes, but I only know Mr. Savage as the only pro that is really good on high meshes. I would say 98% of pros use low meshes, so I'd definitely go on and use low meshes. Now onto our game settings. For your matchmaking region, this is very important. Make sure you have this set to wherever your location is. I know obviously it probably is already set to that, but do not have it set to auto. Make sure it is set to wherever you guys live. I live on the east coast of North America, so obviously I have this on NA East. Make sure this is not set to NA Central unless, of course, you live in NA Central. Make sure this is set to wherever you guys live. This is very important. Movement, I have toggle sprint on, auto open doors on. You guys can have this on or off. I know some pros have it off, some pros have it on. I prefer it on. I just feel like I play better with it. And mantle activation is hold jump. For my combat settings here, hold swap to pick up I have off, toggle targeting off, mark danger when targeting on, auto pick up weapons on. For my preferred item slots, I have AR, shoddy, SMG, sniper / bow, and then consumable item. That's just how I prefer my items in my inventory. Obviously, that is subject to opinion. And then I have auto sort consumables to the right on. For building, we have reset building choice. I have this on, disable pre-edit option on, turbo building on, obviously, and confirm edit on release. This is a little arguable here. A lot of pros actually have this off. I prefer to use it on. I feel like editing late game is much easier with it on, but obviously this is also a big opinion, so you guys can play around with that. I do prefer it on, though. I feel like it is easier to edit in those late game situations. and you guys can just pause the video to copy these settings down. These are just kind of miscellaneous settings for extra game options. Into our game UI, we have our reticle and damage feedback. I have reticle, of course, on, ammo indicator on, damage numbers is on list, reticle damage feedback I have on hit only, and damage number scale. You guys can play around with this, but obviously you guys want to see the damage that you're doing to your opponent, so I just have this at the max amount set because I obviously want to see how much damage I'm doing to my opponents. My HUD scale I have set at 65%. And then I'm just going to show you guys, this is just like my HUD settings, so you guys can copy those if you want the exact settings I'm using. Now headed over to our mouse and keyboard settings. This is very important. If you guys are taking competitive serious, I would use the sense range anywhere from 6% to 8% on 800 DPI. So right now I'm using 6.8%. I feel like it's a good balance between being able to piece control, but also being able to aim very well. I feel like it's a great balance between the two. Targeting sense, I would use anywhere from, I would say 30% to 70%. So it is decent big range, but I like to keep it around 50% for me. And obviously it's personal opinion. You guys can play around with those as well. A lot of pros keep it around 50% though. And then I have this off and lock input method as mouse on. Keyboard movement. So I actually prefer to use the in-game double movement instead of using, secondary sources such as wooting double movement or keys 2x. I think this is one of their best additions to the game. Very, very nice. My forward diagonal angle is 70, strafe angle is 90, and backward diagonal angle is 180. This is a higher, I would say it is definitely a higher double movement, so it is going to be a lot more angled when you're doing this. But I actually prefer to use this. This gives me better control over my character, and I like being able to do different things in-game, especially with piece control. Piece control is much easier with double movement, in my opinion. And then you guys can just copy these settings. I don't think that's very important. Then we come over to audio. So for my main, I have on 50%. My music's off. Sound effects, I have around 40%. I usually keep this around 40% to 60. Dialogue, I have on 0. Voice chat, obviously that's, stupid. Cinematics, I have at 5%, and then picture-in-picture 0. So for the sound, when we get into the sound settings here, I actually have this on high, and that is only because this season, for some reason, when I have it on low, I can barely hear people. I can't tell if they're above me, below me, or anywhere near me, but I just hear their footsteps, so it's very, very weird. So I like to keep this on a high sound quality. You guys can toy around with that, but especially for this season, I would keep this on high. 3D headphones, make sure to have off. Very important. These are absolute garbage. Don't use 3D headphones. Background audio, I have on notifications only. Visualize sound effects, arguably the most important competitive setting to have. Make sure this is on. Super, super important. Do not have visualize sound effects off. It gives you a huge advantage if you have this on. So make sure you have that on. And then you guys can obviously copy this if you want, but it's not a big deal. And then into my keyboard controls, I'll just kind of scroll down. You guys can pause the video at any time or slow the video down if you guys want to really go in depth with these. My settings are pretty optimized, I would say. They're nothing crazy at all. And they're just kind of basic settings to use for competitive. But yeah, I'm no pro player or anything, but I definitely can play at a high level in my opinion. So if you guys want to copy my exact settings, feel free to do that and kind of practice and base it off of what you guys like. But yeah, I hope this video was of use to you guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Again, if you guys want to check out Cracking Keyboards, make sure to hit that link in the description and make sure you use code HIGHCROSS for 10% off your purchase. You guys can save some money there. But yeah, with all that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.